What if you had to survive with no shelter, no tools, and no weapons, in a world ruled by giant predators and a sun that showed no mercy? What if your survival depended not on strength, but on how fast you could learn? 4 million years ago, that's exactly how the story of humanity began. 4 million years ago, Earth looked nothing like it does today. Africa stretched wide, a land of open plains, shrinking forests, and brutal seasons. This wasn't the age of cities or civilizations. It was the age of beginnings. And somewhere in that vast wilderness, a new kind of creature appeared. They were called Australopithecus. Small, agile, covered in hair. But unlike the apes before them, they stood upright. Not fully like us, not yet, but enough to free their hands. Hands that would one day hold tools and shape worlds. They lived where forest met grassland. They foraged, scavenged, hid from predators. But even then, they were beginning to understand something deeper. Survival came through adaptation. This world was unforgiving. The rains came late, then came too hard. Droughts stretched for months. Fires tore through the grasses. The climate never stayed the same, and neither could they. So they moved, following food, following water, learning the patterns of the land. They didn't have big brains, not yet. But they had something just as powerful: flexibility. At some point, a stone became more than a stone. It became a tool, a sharp edge to cut bark, a rock to break open bone for its marrow. These weren't weapons of war. They were tools of survival. No blueprints, no teachers, just observation and trial and memory. It was the first spark of technology, a quiet revolution made of stone. But the world didn't wait. Giant lions stalked the tall grass. Crocodiles longer than buses hunted the rivers. Even birds of prey snatched young from the trees. Early humans couldn't outrun them. They weren't stronger, but they became smarter. They climbed trees. They watched the skies. They looked out for one another. And in those simple glances and gestures, the roots of language began. Then came fire, not yet made, but found. Lightning struck a dry tree. Flames followed. Most animals fled. But early humans stayed, watched. Eventually, they learned to keep it, to carry embers, to feed the flame. Fire changed everything. It gave warmth. It scared off predators. It brought light, and with it, safety. Around fire, they didn't just survive. They began to share, to remember, to teach. For over 1 million years, our ancestors didn't conquer the world. They adapted to it. They moved through drought, fire, and flood. From grassland to woodland, mountain to coast. They learned how to live anywhere, not through strength, but through cooperation, innovation, and memory. And while many species vanished, they endured. From a few thousand upright apes in Africa came storytellers, toolmakers, dreamers. Everything we are today, every building, every word, every idea, began with the choice to adapt, to survive, to learn, to evolve. The world 4 million years ago was harsh, brutal, and wild. But it was also the beginning of something extraordinary. A lineage of minds that never stopped asking, what if? A species that refused to break. Instead, it adapted. And today, we are its echo.